101 Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Family Time is about your issues and your relationships, your at home family, your community family, and your global family. Family Time is produced by Family Life Ministries, and our aim is to enable healthy families, which will lead to healthy nations. Stay with us, listen in, and please join in. My name is Charles Hyatt, and as I was saying earlier before, and today, being International Women's Day, we are celebrating. The theme is choose to challenge. Women yesterday and today have learned to look ahead, to plan their own lives and those of their families. And you can bet your bottom dollar that they'll be doing it tomorrow also. And as the decades fly by, they soar into their dreams, even realizing dreams they never thought they had. This International Women's Day, which is today, we chat with two of those women who we think have had the gumption to see it through. They choose to challenge. What needs to be challenged? Women with foresight. To spend the next hour with us is Irene Walter, Chancellor of the International University of the Caribbean, and Shanique Shand. But before we engage them, here's what we want you to do. Tell us, as women, as a woman, what have you or are you choosing to challenge? I want you to WhatsApp your text and voice notes. Make sure that the voice notes are no longer than 30 seconds to 876-997-3125. Or you can post it on our Love 101 Facebook page, or you can call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328 to participate. And throughout the program, we'll share what you share. So we'll be right back.
Life comes at you fast and it can hit hard. Apply for the Credit Union Prepaid MasterCard from C&WJ with chip and PIN protection. Need a card with a personal line of credit for emergencies? We have that. Need a card you can use to shop online for that must-have item? We have that. The community and workers of Jamaica Prepaid MasterCard. All the convenience of a MasterCard. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Healthcare workers are working very hard to ensure lives are saved and people recover quickly from COVID-19. But their work is becoming harder because you're not wearing your mask, washing your hands with soap and water, or using hand sanitizer, and you are not maintaining physical distance. Let's limit the need for hospital beds and ventilators. Do the right thing. Cover your nose and mouth with a mask. Practice good hand hygiene and maintain a physical distance of 6 feet between you and others. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to Family Time on Love 101. Our topic today is Women with Foresight. I love that. Women with Foresight. And this evening, we want you to tell us, as a woman, what have or are you choosing to challenge? I want you to WhatsApp your text and voice notes. Make sure the voice notes are no longer than 30 seconds to 876-997-3125. I want you to also post it on the Love 101 Facebook page or call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328 to participate. And throughout the program, we'll share your thoughts. With us this evening is Irene Walter and Shanique Shand. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
How are you? It's so nice to see you all.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Wonderful. Miss Walter, I can't hear you.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to be here. And
wonderful.
With a young person, I mean, just my speed.
Wonderful. We're going to have fun today. Now, Miss Walter, Miss, is it Mrs. or Miss?
Mrs. Walter.
Mrs.
Yes,
Walter.
yes.
Mrs. Walter. I want to know your story,
Huh?
right? So I want you to help us know your story as a woman with foresight. Uh, where were you born?
Okay, I was born in the community of Almond Town.
Okay.
Almond Town is east of Racecourse, and that was my playground. And in fact, I spent um, my early years, the first 14 years of my life in that community. It was a small community, um, well organized, quiet. We knew everybody. We all went to the same school, Almond Town Primary School. There were about 5 churches: the Salvation Army on Prince of Wales Street, the Anglican on Matthew Street, the Methodist on Sarah Street, and even a Pocomania church on Hannah Street. So,
Really?
yes, and it was a really very small, cohesive community, and I certainly enjoyed my young days, my youth in that community.
But you would
I
have
was
to
born,
enjoy, man. You would
yes,
have to enjoy because I mean, with such an eclectic religious surrounding, I
yes,
mean, children of nowadays, right? With
yes.
who might grow up in church or might not grow up in church, understand that there's such a life in church, right? So to have all these different churches surrounding you must have been interesting.
Not only that, but we shared. There was a sense of sharing the community. We knew each other, and we went to the same school. There was a community school, and we had this community playground, so that it was a stable a stable and happy community. I'm so sorry these days when I hear stories that it's riddled with crime, because the police station, which was on Steamer Street, had plumbago on the walls. There were no prisoners in the
Wow.
cells,
Wow.
and about 15 years ago, I visited the community, and I had the opportunity of speaking to the police. And they said, please don't come after 4 o'clock because there are too many guns in the community. It has really changed.
But back in those days, Mrs. Walter,
Yes.
you must have had big dreams in your life. So about your life, because as a woman with foresight, it didn't start yesterday, right? And you wouldn't have gotten to this wonderful teenage year that you're at now without having big dreams. Tell us about some of those dreams.
Yes. Well, William Wordsworth said, the child is father of the man. And much of the dreams start in those early years. My uncle was a teacher, and in fact, that's my first school was the primary school, the prep school that he conducted. And so I always had this dream of being an educator. Teaching became my first love, and in fact, that became my profession. But I wanted to say about the community and the fact that the family life was so good. I only have good memories of a stable family life with a Christian mother, going to church and enjoying simple pleasures with my friends in that community. And I think that's a basis of a good life, a stable Christian home in your early years. And my dream was going to be a teacher. And of course, after I attended Almond Town Primary School, then on to Kingston Senior School, which was a feeder school. And then, and at Kingston Senior School, I did very well. By the time I took the third Jamaica local at age 13, I came third in the island, which was on a remarkable feat, because the third Jamaica local was an 18-year-old examination, but under the tutelage of Mrs. Olga Banks. I took the exam and came third in the island and won a place at Shortwood College.
Nice.
And, of
Very
course,
nice.
one could not attend shorter college until you were 17, and so I then went to Camperdown High School and was under the influence of Mrs. Ivy Grant, a great Christian woman, and did my Cambridge school certificate, and then still got a grade one. So everything sort of propelled me into teaching, and I ended up with a scholarship from Jamaica Teachers Association to Shortwood College at age 17.
At age 17.
Yes.
Now, you're talking about all the achievements you've had, but when did you decide that teaching is going to be your thing? Because I mean, even now, you're still in the scholastic realm. You're still in the educational system from you were 17 till now. When did that dream manifest?
At about it probably was about 7 when I gathered all my friends around to teach them, because as I said, I had a mentor. My uncle was a teacher, and the models in the society were few. There were no doctors or lawyers around. There were teachers and nurses, and so very early on, I decided that I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So you got when did you get married? How old were you when you were
Oh
married?
yes. And, my friend, I had a birthday on Friday, and we
Oh,
had a
happy
big
birthday to you.
Zoom party. And my friend told everybody that I was supposed to be teaching this young man Spanish because I had got a distinction in Spanish. It turned out that he became my husband. And I got married immediately after leaving Shortwood. I was a child bride at age 19.
Okay.
And so it was, he was a schoolmate, and it just blossomed into love and
Wonderful.
marriage.
Beautiful. Are you all still married now?
No, unfortunately, the marriage ended and ended quite soon too. This is not a good example. I had 4 children in 4 years.
I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't be a good example. You
It's,
became a young mom.
but um, we decided that we had different objectives and different goals,
Mhm.
and I decided that we no longer had the similar goals, and therefore I filed for divorce at age when I was 27, and I've been single since then.
That's amazing. And you've accomplished so much as a single mom. And this is the thing that I would like to get into. It's just your the way that you decided that regardless of my situation, I'm a mother of 4 children and I must make it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that, and I take my hat off to you if I had one on. Um, when we come back, we'll continue our discussion on this topic. But please, listeners and viewers, don't forget to tell us, as a woman, what have or are you choosing to challenge? We want you to WhatsApp, text, or voice note. Make sure they're no longer than 30 seconds to 876-997-3125, and post also on our Love 101 Facebook page, or call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328 to participate. So, when we come back, we are going to have more of this wonderful conversation with 2 lovely ladies.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's now 5:45.
Bring the family back, put it all together. Bring the family back, bring it back together. Bring the family back.
As more and more people stay in, you need to bring your business to your customers. And Sagicor Bank makes that easier with Survive. Equip your delivery staff with the Sagicor Bank Swipe Terminal and accept debit and credit card payments almost anywhere. Apply online for Swipe today at sagicor.com. Sagicor Bank, helping you change the way you do business with Swipe, supporting growth, supporting Jamaica.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Jamaica, our way of life is being affected, but our path to progress is not. Flow has continued to build its network infrastructure to prepare for times like these, to ensure that your connections to everything important are strong and reliable. And if you are a current Flow Home Service customer, upgraded services may be available in your area. Learning from home is smarter, and working from home is stronger than ever. I am Stephen Price, Country Manager of Flow, and this is our commitment. The strength of the Flow network is yours and ready when you need it. Visit your nearest Flow store or discoverflow.co. It is our privilege to serve you.
Bring the family back, put it all together. Bring the family back, bring it back together. Bring the family back.
Welcome back to Family Time. Our guests are Mrs. Irene Walter and Shanique Shand. Our discussion topic is women with foresight. And our question to all our listeners and viewers is this. As a woman, what have or are you choosing to challenge? We want you to WhatsApp, text, or voice note. Make sure it's no longer than 30 seconds to 876-997-3125 or post on the Love 101 Facebook page. And throughout the program, we'll share what you share. Also, join us on Facebook and YouTube Live via the Love 101 Facebook page and the Love 101 YouTube channel. If you want to speak to any of these ladies, you can call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328 to do so. Now, we're going to introduce Miss Wonderful Shanique Shand. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing just fine. So happy that you're here to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you serve as the other end of the spectrum of wonderful light that we have on this program. You are a young lady in your 20s, and we want to now hear your story. Tell us where you were born, where you grew up, what schools you went to, what your loves are, and all those things.
Okay, no problem. Happy International Women's Day to all women, by the way. All right, so I was born in St. Andrew, actually, and I grew up in St. Anne. I don't recall much of my life growing up in St. Andrew because I was small, Kingston, I was small. So majority of my life that I remember would have been in St. Anne with both parents in a marital union, both married, mom and dad, and I also have a younger sister. So I grew up in St. Anne. I went to the Servite Primary School, and then I transitioned to the Westwood High School, after which I went to the Brownstown Community College and then UWI Mona. So I actually grew up a very reserved person, a very reserved child, very quiet. You know, people would see me people see me now and being vocal and confident, and they're like, you know, when did you become like this? Because in contrast to who I was back then and who I am now, there's truly a difference. But I went to UWI, not my life at UWI, or my journey to UWI, was not what I anticipated, because I grew up desiring to become a medical doctor. That was my dream. And perhaps because growing up as a young person, you grew up hearing the traditional careers, and that's what you're exposed to. And also, I believe that had the potential, because I was a science student. I love the sciences. When I did CSEC, I did extremely well, and so I saw the potential. But unfortunately, things did not go how I wanted it to go. So when I left Westwood, I went to Brownstone Community College to do preliminary sciences, hoping to transition to UWI to do medical sciences. But I did not get the required grades to matriculate into medical school. So I was advised to do an alternate program that after I finish, or after I do first year, I can seek to reapply and I may get in. Still did not get in. I actually got in. Well, I got in, let me say I got in, but I got in for the unsponsored program, which is a whole lot of money, which we couldn't afford at the time, my parents and I. So I opted to do a bachelor's in biology, hoping to use that to transition later on. Long and short of it, though, I didn't get to do medicine. I'm not practicing as a medical doctor now, but I am truly living what I think is God's will for me and his purpose for me. It was very hard, though, having to grapple with disappointing, because you grow up and you say, all right, I'm going to become a medical doctor. People are looking on at you to become that, so the expectations are high, and you have to grapple with failing them in your eyes, or failing yourself. And so it was really challenging initially, just to accept the fact that, okay, this may not be the intended path for me. Maybe there's something else God wants to do in my life, which I'm certainly seeing now. Maybe there's something else for me to grow into. And so that process itself was it was life-changing, because I went through an evolution. I went through a process where I started now to dig deep within myself to find the treasures that are within, those things that are hidden because you were on a particular route. You weren't really concerned about digging deep within to find those things that you could probably capitalize on. But I went through that process of having to seek within myself, asking the Lord through prayer and much fasting and prayer, and asking God just to reveal to me. And I became a Christian at the age of 12. So that was it was almost second nature to me. I've always been a strong Christian. Thanks be to God. I've always been passionate about, God and just pursuing him in purpose. And so that didn't become very difficult for me to just say, Lord, okay, I realize I'm on a different path. What are you saying? What is your intended purpose for me? Show me, direct me, so I can know which way to go, so I can find that thing that you have created me to do. If it's not this path, what is it you want me to do? And so that process itself was very eye-opening, and the Lord has now brought me into entrepreneurship. He has brought me also into ministry. And those are the two main things that I'm building on now. And I can tell you that I no longer have any regrets about what did not happen. I'm at the place where I can say that truly God has been guiding me. And I'm at the place where I can say that, okay, I feel a sense of purpose and a sense of assurance that I am on track for purpose. So I'm here, now as I've managed to accomplish quite a few things, because even when I left UWI, I did not know what to do. Honestly, I was so confused and disappointed, and I was like, God, what next? And I remember seeing this competition that I always watch on TV, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen competition. And for some reason, I say, I'm going to try. I'm not a pageant girl. I don't consider myself to be somebody. And I remember I told you I grew up very shy and very reserved. So doing this it must have been something deeper than just myself. And so my passion to just grow, I said, let me enter. I may not win, but let me enter. And I entered, and lo and behold, I actually won that year. And I was so shocked, having not I won at the parish level, by the way. Let me clarify. So I became Miss Kingston and St. Andrew because at the time I was living in Kingston. So I competed in Kingston, went to national, but I didn't qualify national, or didn't win nationally. But for me, accomplishing that at the parish level was just enough for me to say that, okay, God, you diverted me. I'm on a reroute here, but there is still something that I can still do to grow, to develop myself, to pursue personal development. And so I continued on and on. The following year, I entered another competition. You can tell me if I'm talking too much or if I should stop. Okay, great. So the following year, I went on to enter the National Farm Queen competition. And that too is also a pageant, but of course you don't have to model in the bikini and all of that. You just, we had to do a technical paper on the agricultural industry, and you do a talent piece, you answer questions about agriculture. Funny enough, I'm now in the agricultural industry, but that's for another thing. But I've always been taking strides, and in that competition I was awarded the second runner-up to the National Farm Queen. So I didn't get the crown, but I was second runner-up, and I think that those two things were revolutionary in terms of developing me, exposing me to public speaking. I got invited to schools to start talking at events and so on.
So, Shanique, in all that you have done, I mean, it's amazing what you've accomplished so far. I want you to quickly tell me, because you spoke about the Lord, you spoke about your own self-passion, your push, but who can you remember very quickly? Who were your mentors?
Wow. If I should be honest, mentorship was something I always grew up wanting, but didn't really have until later on in my life. I actually got a mentor through Toastmasters, because I'm a member of Toastmasters International. And that's how I got connected to a mentor who mentors me in business related matters and so on. Anything, like I can go to her with anything and she advises me. But truly, I did not grow up with a mentor. I would say, to be honest, it's something that I always marvel about, because people always ask me, you have so much wisdom, you have such a drive, and you seem so organized. What have you done? Who has helped you? But to be honest, it's just been me and God and my parents and my family who has been a good support system to me, and just having that inborn desire to excel and just to go for what God has for me.
Well, we definitely are happy that you have this drive, and you're already inspiring to so many. So when you are now listening and watching Family Time on Love 101, produced by Family Life Ministries, have you answered the question yet? What we really want to know is, as a woman, what have or are you choosing to challenge? Tell us by WhatsApp, text, or voice notes, no longer than 30 seconds, to 876-997-3125, or on our Love 101 Facebook page, or you can call the studio lines at 876-968-8327 to participate. We're also on Facebook and YouTube Live. We want to hear from you. We want you to come back and listen to Irene Walter and Shanique Shand and listen to their stories. We'll be right back.
Wow. We don't take shot anymore, but we are going to start the things. Monday, March 8th. International Women's Day. Only love can say them things there. Join.
Move with grace to win a Toyota RAV4 with 1 year free insurance from DK Insurance plus your share of $9 million.
The time by Move with Grace is 6 o'clock.
The Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-Swift, is moving to make cross-border trading easier for imports and exports. Effective March 1, 2021, All importers of plant and plant products must use the J-Swift online platform to apply for their import permits from the Plant Quarantine and Produce Inspection Branch at the Ministry of Agriculture. J-Swift will improve accessibility to cross-border trade services, reduce paper-based and manual transactions, reduce processing time, and accelerate the release of commodities. Jamaica's single window for trade, bridging the gap, opening your window to trade.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
I know the mountains get so high sometimes. I know the valley seems so wide. It seems this journey, it will never end. And you keep asking the question, God, why? I know the road, it gets so rocky at times. I know the heartaches are severe. It seems like life will never change its tide. But there's an answer to all of life. Here's stay with God. In spite of what you see or feel, stay with God. In spite of how things may appear, stay with God. It doesn't matter what may come our way. There is only one place we are safe. Stay with God. I know the way you feel says give up now. I know you feel you can't hold on. You're not the only one who is carrying your load. Remember, he said to cast all your cares on him. I know you cry and tell everyone you meet, because you feel that word is a pain. But if you just believe your life is in God's hand, then today I tell you your mountains have to disappear. Come on and stay with God. In spite of what you see or feel, stay with God. In spite of how things may appear, stay with God. It doesn't matter what may come our way. There is only one place we are safe. Stay with God. Oh, stay with God. In spite of what you see or feel, come on, stay with God.
Bring the family back. Bring the family back. Put it all together.
Welcome back. You are with Family Time, tuned into Love 101. We want you to know that Family Time is brought to you by Family Life Ministries, FLM. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Listen out for our numbers in Kingston and Portmore at the end of this program. Or Check our website at www.familylifeministriesjamaica, fully spelled out, .com. Remember, we're on Facebook and YouTube Live. So tune into the program via the Love 101 Facebook page and YouTube channel. So Mrs. Irene Walter and Shanique Shand are our guests, and the topic is Women with Foresight. We want to speak with any of them. Call the studios. If you want to speak with any of them, call the studios at 968-8327 or 968-8328. Now, since we've been on a break, we got a WhatsApp message from a powerful lady named Mrs. Maureen Ferguson from Delaware. She says, as a mother of 4, I attained a bachelor's and a master's degree, and being a full-time wife in the same breath, also a family service specialist. Wow. Mrs. Ferguson, we take our hats off to you. Keep doing the great work and keep representing powerful women all over this world as we celebrate you right here in Jamaica. Studio, do we have any voice notes?
Yes, we do. We have one from Sister Ray Ray. She's from Spanish Town. Let's go ahead and get that one.
All right.
Yes, good evening, family time, and happy International Women's Day to all the ladies and to your guests. I believe I am doing my best to motivate and to help as much women, young ladies, I can to achieve. Just to motivate them, I got pregnant out of school and I was to fight my way to the top. So I believe if I could do it, anyone else can. So that's really my thing, to motivate and to help financially and otherwise to see to it that they achieve their goal.
Now, that is just absolutely special. Thank you, Miss Ray, for that voice note. It is inspiring. Now, I want to hear from Mrs. Walter. Speaking of inspiration, Mrs. Walter, I want to hear about some challenges, maybe one challenge that you came across in your life, how you approached that challenge, and then how you overcame it. Your mic is off. I'm not hearing you.
Has been stay with God. And he has proven to be very faithful. In fact, I had a long conversation with him when my marriage broke up to say, didn't I ask you for your blessing on this marriage? What is happening? So that in fact, we need to be prepared to go where God leads us. And he has led me. My challenge was with 4 children to provide a good home for them and to be a good example. And so I went back to university as a part-time student, achieved the bachelor's degree, got a significant appointment at the university, and by 1974, I was appointed the Pro-Registrar of the Caribbean Examinations Council, which was had just been recently established. And I led that council for the next 25 years, finally ending up as registrar. During that time, I also, and there's a story I want to tell you about purchasing the home, because one of my goals was to have a stable home for my children.
Hold on, Mrs. Walters, hold on. Before we go into that,
yes,
we have a caller that wants to speak to you two, and we want to bring them in.
Yes.
Quickly. Okay, she's on air.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
This is Cecilia Grant Francis, past principal of Chelsea Primary and Infant in Clarendon, and later where I retired from Porus Primary School. I am presently the Jamaica Teachers Association retired teachers president. And I have tried my best over the years to actually need it because I know where I am coming from. And even right now, I see a lot of women in Jamaica. And I personally appreciate these women, not only today that is called International Women's Day, but for what I can see and hear and doing. And I'm not talking about politics. Portia Simpson, I truly admired her based on her achievement.
Yes.
And just to say, whatever help I can get right now, I would truly appreciate it because I am embarking and getting some tablets for needy children in the schools because I am looking at what our society will be in the future. Because the schools that I have left, I was told because I seek and I try to find out. I've always been doing things for needy parents and needy children. I still do it, but I cannot manage it all on my own. And so I am appealing to anyone who can assist me in getting. My target right now is to get at least 6 tablets. I know there are needy children who would do well if they get it. I am a woman who's coming from a poor beginning. I know what it is when you have needs, but yes, I rose to the cause where I ran for Jamaica Teachers Association National Presidency.
Okay, caller. Hello, caller. I'm going to ask you to give your contact information to the studio, and they will then keep the conversation going as to how that help can be given to you. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So, Shanique, I don't want to leave you out from the question, you know. We have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure we talk to you about the challenges. One challenge that you had that you approached and you conquered.
Wow, what challenges? Well, I did share initially about my diversion. That was in and of itself hard to digest, but I did eventually. Also, I didn't necessarily grow up. My parents are not rich, so I know what it means to struggle, or I know what it means to work for what you want because you need to put in the work if you want to elevate yourself or to get ahead. And so from early, because even going through university and so on, I actually had to take student loans, and so on. So that in and of itself, having to deal with that was a little challenging because I always say, boy, if I really had the money, or if we had the money, then I could have just paid my way. And I also had to grapple with the fact that I was doing a degree that I wasn't really sure would take me into a job. But because I was advised to do that, to transition, I did it. So after I finished that degree, I struggled a lot. I was depressed, let me say, because I started to worry. I said, God, how am I going to pay off these student loans? I think I was ill-advised because maybe if I had done something else, I probably would have had a better chance of getting a job and just becoming financially stable. And that in and of itself is still a work in progress in terms of just regaining that balance or reaching that level where I can say I truly have financial freedom. And just as a young woman too, having to go through life and being married in and of itself has certain pros because you have the support of a spouse. I'm a single woman, never been married. And I've never really had the support of, say, somebody, a man, quote unquote, giving me money or supporting me that way. So I've had to handle that responsibility of my future in more than one way, is just embracing my journey and recognizing that if I want to get ahead in life, I have to take full responsibility for my life. So
I agree. I agree. But
dealing with that, yeah.
understand fully. We're going to
Yeah.
take a break, but I want you to keep your comments and questions coming, listeners and viewers. We want to hear from you. As a woman, what have or are you choosing to challenge? During the break, WhatsApp and text us your answers with voice notes, even no longer than 30 seconds, to 876-997-3125, or post on our Love 101 Facebook page, or call the studios at 876-968-8327 to participate. I am Charles, and we're here with Irene Walter and Shanique Shand. We'll be right back after this break.
It is now a 6:16 on the family station, Love 101.
Hello, today we're going to be making breakfast and preparing a lunchbox for school. Let's start with some sugar and salt and wash it down with a nice big glass of more sugar. And now for the lunchbox. Let's put in saturated fat, more salt, and sugar. Foods high in salt, fats, and sugar increase the risk of hypertension, obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Now more than ever, we have the right to know what's in our food. Give us warning labels on the front of our food packages.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, Ministry of Health and Wellness, and partners.
Are you doing enough to protect the health of your parents and grandparents? Our nation's elderly are the most vulnerable group of citizens to die from COVID-19. It is our duty as family members, caregivers, and community to protect their health and well-being. Let's do our part. Wear your mask around them. Wash and sanitize your hands when you are in their space. Provide comfort and emotional support during these very stressful times. Assist them with activities where there is a challenge or a need. Let us show our seniors that we truly care. For further information, contact the National Council for Senior Citizens toll-free 888-SENIORS or 876-736-4677, or call 876-906-9277 to 8, or visit www.mlss.gov.jm. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Bring the family back. Bring the family back. Put it all together.
You're tuned to Love 101, and it is now 6:18 p.m. This is Family Time, brought to you by Family Life Ministries. FLM provides counseling with all kinds of challenges, for people with all kinds of challenges and from all walks of life. Listen out to our numbers in Kingston and Portmore at the end of the program, or you can check our website at www.familylifeministriesjamaica.com. Women with Foresight is our topic, and Irene Walter and Shanique Shand are our guests. Now, Miss Walter, we have a little bit of time left, and I just don't like this part of the program because this is going so well. But Mrs. Walter, I want you to give some tips and guidance for others when we talk about stepping towards your challenges.
Yes. First of all, there's a little gem which says, do your best, your very best, and do it every day. I think that's a basis of success. And that has been one of my mantras. The second thing about it is that I was fortunate to have mentors, teachers who took an interest in me, people who saw the potential and gave me the support. So you need to listen, you need to share information and accept guidance. It's very important that you share your dreams with persons and accept the guidance that they get offer. The third thing is this, that set yourself goals. I set myself a goal of purchasing my own home. And by the time I was 32, I owned a home in Mona Heights. It was a very hard task, but it was goal-oriented. I involved my children in it. I also decided that I had to achieve a master's degree if I wanted to be a leader in education. And so I attended Columbia Teachers College without a scholarship. with the savings that I had from my job, because my goal was to achieve that degree and not owe any money. And
I
I
love
was
it.
able to achieve all of that.
I love it. I love it. That is such a wonderful story and inspiration, even to me, because I tell you, when you make up your mind to focus on something and keep those blinders on, you will achieve your goal. The universe will bend to make sure that you have it.
It does indeed.
Shanique, answer the question. Give us some tips or guidance for others when it's coming to stepping towards that challenge.
Wow. My first recommendation, because I'm a woman of faith, and because this has worked for me personally, if I didn't have just God's, presence and just his guidance and confirmation over the years concerning my decisions, I don't know where I'd be. So I'd say, first of all, seek God concerning your future. If you meet upon challenges, ensure you have a foundation in God that you can use as a prop in challenging times, because when the challenges come, they can push you over. And if you don't have something secure, you're not secure in yourself and who you are in God, it's very easy for you to be sidetracked. No, where I am now in comparison to where I used to be, now I have managed to, have my own business and now an author and so forth. I do quite a number of things. And I can truly tell you that it's because of the goodness of God and because of the relationship I have garnered with him, that I have nurtured with him, why I can be here. And it's also important to plan, have a vision, look ahead and say, where do I see myself in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, if you're a short-term person? And that will help you to make decisions that will get you there. It will help you to enter the right relationships, whether friendship or intimate. It will help you to choose wisely, business associations, everything. It will guide everything you do. So have a vision and ensure that your plan of action is in line with that vision. And once you allow them to work hand in hand, you will get to where you need to get in due time.
That is those. The one thing that I can tell you about those two answers is that there's one theme that I'm hearing, and you all can let me know. You two ladies can let me know if I am paying attention or not. But in what both of you said, one of the most important aspects and ingredients to getting to where you want to get to is planning.
Planning.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Absolutely. It is amazing to hear you wonderful ladies tell your stories. I definitely want to hear more from you. And I want to hear from you both quickly. When you think about the impact that you've had on the people around you, what are some of the things that you said, I am really glad that I was representing that so that person could see? Mrs. Walter?
Yes, as I said, I just had a birthday, and so many of my young friends said I was such a good mentor, and I'm delighted at the fact that I could influence other persons for good.
Nice, wonderful. How about you, Shanique?
Can you repeat the question again? I think I.
So when you look back at and I know you've had such a long life, Shanique. I know that you. But when you look back at all that you have achieved, and I don't know if you did it in a way that you wanted to bring someone with you or help somebody on the way, but when you look back, what was the thing that you said, you know what, I'm glad that I represented that in that way so that somebody else could learn?
Well, as a young woman, I have a lot of people who look up to me, a lot of young women who do tell me on a day-to-day basis that, I'm their model for who a woman should be, and just the way I represent Christ, everything I do, my brand, how I speak, how I carry myself, they truly always say to me and give me commendations in terms of keeping that standard high and giving them a model that they can follow later on or even now. So that I would say that just being that example that others can look on and emulate and choose to follow my footsteps.
Excellent. Now, I want the viewers and the listeners to understand, and maybe more the listeners, because the viewers can see what I'm seeing. And I want the listeners to understand that the conversation that you're hearing is based on the whole principle, on a serious principle. And the thing is that that principle has not changed for decades. Mrs. Walter is in her 80s and has been
85 years old.
85 years old, and
Yes.
she's been saying the same thing, living the same thing, and representing the same thing all her life. Miss Shand is in her 20s and representing the same thing. People, the formula works. If it no broke, don't try fix it. You have to plan. You have to stay focused to your center, your
Stay with God.
spiritual center. Say again,
Stay
ma'am?
with God.
Stay with God, exactly. Stay with God, because these two ladies are living proof that it works. It's a formula that won't leave you at the roadside. So please remember, plan, always chase your dreams. Is that right, ladies?
You're
Yes,
quite right.
that is correct.
Right. Now, understand one thing, listeners. When you decide to chase your dream, and that you decide that nobody is going to stop you from chasing your dream, it is a fact in life, and please, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, that the universe will open up and give that dream to you in your lifetime. Mrs. Walter, I want to hear from you first.
I I could I could not anticipate that all my dreams would come true, but it really has. And based on um, just trusting God and to lead you in the way that He wants you to go. And I think that it works.
Yes.
Planning ahead and trusting God to take you through the journey.
Lovely. Miss Shand, 1 minute.
I would say yes, the universe always works with you, and that's because our God, the Father of heaven and earth, is in charge of the universe. The scripture tells us that many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's the plan of God or the will of God that prevails. So while you plan, always be open to shifting, always be open to what God is saying and allow Him to direct you. But I tell you, once you stay with Him and stay in Him, all things are possible. Today I am living my dream, I believe, because God has literally shifted my dream and shifted my perspective on life. And I am still expectant of what God will do, because I know that once He's with me, all things are possible.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, ladies. Remember, listeners, if you or someone you know would like counseling to deal with any issues in family, relationship, or just everyday life, please contact the Family Life Ministries counselor. For our center in Portmore at 117 Cecile Avenue, call 876-939-7917. And for our other counselors across the island, contact the head office at 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101, and we'll connect you. You can also check our website at www.familylifeministriesjamaica.com. And thanks for being here with us. If you still have personal questions of your own, call us at Family Life Ministries or book an appointment with our receptionist. Find us on Facebook at Family Life Ministries, on Instagram at FLMJA, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Family Life Ministries-FLMJA. I am Charles Hyatt. Join us again next week at 5:30 on Love 101 FM on the Facebook and YouTube Live via Love 101 Facebook page and the Love 101 YouTube channel for another informative program. Thanks again to our special guests, Irene Walter and Shanique Shand. Thank you also to our show producer, Kathy Gale, Open Door Communications, studio facilitator, Miss Sarah Ann, and of course, you. Stay well, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you very much, ladies.
It is now a 6:30 on the Family Station of 101.
Bring it on and time together. Bring the family back.